Today I'm going to do a little shoulder mobilization or shoulder mobility video. We are splitting this video into 3 small parts. So part 1 is pre-workout, part 2 is activation and during workout, part 3 is post, so dynamic stretches. So part 1, pre-workout, is during your warm-up there are some dynamic stretches you can do to help with your shoulder mobility. So we're going to start with these first. And the first one we're going to do is standing arm swings. So something really nice and simple. Hands down by your side. Throughout this movement, keep your shoulders down, so don't let them shrug to your ears. And also, don't let the back arch and the chest pop forward. So you're maintaining that nice neutral spine throughout. Arms down by your side and reaching. So as I say, no shrugging those shoulders and no arching that back. Standing arm swings. Super simple. Number 2, I like to call this one give yourself a hug. It's a chest opener. So flinging those arms back, I say flinging, controlling in a controlled swinging motion, take the arms back and then give yourself a hug. Again, keeping the shoulders down. Don't too vigorously swing those arms back. We don't want to cause any injuries. We just want to open up the chest and warm up those shoulders. Number 3. Thread the needle. This is where it gets a little bit more involved, shall we say. So you're going to take it onto your hands and knees. So knees are beneath the hips and hands are beneath the shoulders. Just shimmy back, there we go. So from there, you're going to open up. So as you can see, I've got a little bit of restrictions here, but that's okay. You're aiming to open up your chest parallel with the whatever you're facing on that right hand side. And then you're going to take the arm down, thread it through, and take your shoulder all the way to the floor and rest the side of your head on the floor. Now we're keeping this dynamic. So you're going to do 3 to 5 on one side and 3 to 5 on the other. So again, opening up, you might find one side is easier than the other. All the way down, thread that needle. Open it up and down and underneath. So number 3, thread the needle. Number 4 is the last one in this first section, so passovers. Now you will need a broom handle, a long stick, a bit of PVC piping. Most of us have some sort of mop or brush in the house, so that kind of idea you can use. I'm going to use a resistance band for today, so another option you have. Hold it as far out as you can. Keep the shoulders down again. You're going to pass the resistance band, the broom handle, the PVC pipe, whatever it is you have, up and over the body. Now you want to try and keep the arms not fully locked out, but straight as you can, so tiny bend in the elbow. And also, only take it as far as you can manage. So if you can only get to here, that's where you take it, okay? So I can get a little bit further. I have got a bit of give because I'm using a resistance band. So shoulder passovers. So that is our 4 dynamic stretches that we can do during our warm-up to aid in shoulder mobility. We're now going to go into a few exercises or activation movements that we can do next. So the first off is high to low row. So ideally, with a resistance band, I'm going to pop it round something. I'm going to double this up. Pop it round something nice and stable. So try not to use anything you think you might break. Ideally, the object should be slightly higher than you. And you're going to pull. Yeah, that's too strong. Again, it's a trial and error process. So you are going to pull the movement down and back. So we're activating the back of those shoulders. Pull down and back. Now, if you're using this as an activation exercise, it doesn't need to be too heavy or too tough. Again, 3 to 5 on each side. If you're doing it as a workout, you can do 3 to 5 sets of these as well. So keeping the shoulders down and pulling down and back. That's number 1. Number 2, reverse flies or YTWs. So your reverse fly would involve you using a weight. I've got a couple of dumbbells here. They're a little bit heavy for this movement, but enough that I can show you. So slight bend in the knee, hinge forward from the hip. You've got that nice neutral spine. From there, you're going to lift the weights up and out to the side, and you will feel the back of those shoulders activate. Okay, if you don't have weights or ones that are slightly too heavy, you can do YTWs. You'll see why they're called this in a second. And you can do these lying down or again in that hip hinged position. So Y would be bringing the arms up in a Y shape. T, bringing the arms out to the side, imagining T shape. And then W, arms are in this position and you're really squeezing those shoulder blades together. So you can do that lying down, you can do it against a wall, or you can do it in that hip hinged, tipped over position. Shoulder rotations. Again, you could do this, again if it's activation, you can do this completely body weight, so without anything. So you're keeping the shoulder down and rotating. You might find again that you've got greater range of movement or better mobility on one side or the other. And if you have a weight, again, don't pick one that's too heavy. As you can see, this one's a little bit too heavy for me doing that, but you get the impression, you get the idea. So work with what you have. It's a mobility thing, so you don't need to use a weight. And finally, last section, we're going to do some static stretches to improve the flexibility around the shoulder joint. So first up, really nice and simple. Take that arm out and across the body. So you're reaching straight out and you're using the other arm to help pull it across. Now you should feel this across here. And it's a static stretch, so you're aiming to hold it for approximately the count of 15. 15 to 30 seconds is what they say is optimal for a stretch. Any less than that, and you don't get the benefit. Any more than that, and you don't get any more benefit from it. And then switching sides. So that's static stretch, keeping a little bend in the elbow and feeling it across the rear deltoid, so the back of the shoulder. Number 2, sleeper stretch. So this is a slightly new one to me that I've learned lately. So it involves lying down, hence I think the name sleeper, and you're going to have the arm out in front of you in this shape. So right angle at the elbow, but coming straight out from the shoulder. So from there, you're going to bring your arm up, and then gently with the other arm, pushing it down towards the floor. Once you get to a position where you feel the stretch, so they say mild discomfort and no more, so you don't want to be in pain, you're going to hold it there again for the approximate count of 15. And exactly the same on the other side. Doorway stretch. Let's see. Ideally, you want to be standing by your door with your arm again in this position. You're going to face the doorway and pop your arm, so this part of your arm, against the wall or the doorway, and then turn away. So actually bring your body to face away from your arm. You should feel that stretch in the chest and the front of the shoulder, and you can do that on both sides. The other option is that you stand in an open doorway and do both at the same time, making sure those elbows are in line with the shoulders and step forward. You should get a nice stretch across here. Chest expansion. Again, this will require the resistance band, wherever I happen to have put it. Oh yeah, it's hanging on the door. We've got another. So, holding it behind your back, hands about shoulder width apart, and lift those shoulders up. And I can guarantee you that you will feel that stretch across here. You could always use your broom handle for this one. You just won't have the give. So with this, I'm pulling against the band at the same time as lifting those arms up. And the final one, which is my favorite stretch, is a child's pose. So you are going to take your big toes together, your knees apart, sit back on your heels, reach forward with the fingertips, and you're aiming to push your chest down towards the floor. The likelihood is it won't reach there, but that's what you want to be thinking about doing. So arms reach forward, head down to the floor and pushing, letting that chest sink towards the floor. And if you can't quite see, very quickly, toes together, knees apart, bum is back towards the heels as far as you can go while you reach forward with the fingertips and sink the chest towards the floor, like so. So that concludes my little video of 12 ways to help with shoulder mobility. The rule, as always, is if it hurts, don't do it. If you've got an injury, best to speak to a physio. And I know just now you can't go and see them, but they are happy to give you advice virtually online. But if you're moving well, but you just have some restrictions, doing these movements before, during, and after your workout should help. Any questions? As always, shoot me a message. Take care.